Okay, so I'm now going to talk to you about the section on the movement piece of music. So by listening to music and moving to it, you can achieve so many different things. And it can be that you can point out particular features. So say, for example, you see in some of the videos, I'm showing them how to do an accent or a pause. So just by throwing a scarf up, they can actually visualize what the sound is doing. It's sort of sticking up. And there's that energy to put into it that can then be transferred to when they play an instrument and they have to play an accent. They have to use a lot of energy in the same way that they're throwing up a scarf. So it's that kind of measurement of energy also. And the same thing with a pause. When they sort of make the scarf float, it gives them that sort of floaty feeling and sort of the time sort of stretching. So it's a kind of visual translation of the sound, but also they get to understand how it works, and you can then show them what the symbols look like also and how they relate to each feature. So you can point at the features. The other thing you can show them is is giving them a good sense of pulse and rhythm, so that they're actually learning to move in time to the music, and that they can then again apply to the instrument, so that when they play, they will know how to keep in time with the music. And this is something I've noticed in my older people, that when you try to explain to them what a ritardando is, you tell them it's when you gradually slow down, and they will do it. They will gradually slow down, but it doesn't feel very natural when they're playing it in the piece. It's either they'll do it too slow, they slow down too much, or they'll start slowing down not quite when you want them to start slowing down. And I think by rehearsing when you're moving to a piece of music, that with professionals being the performers actually playing, like the professional orchestra that you're playing to in a piece of music that you're working on, they will know how much you need to slow down. And then when you're moving to it, you're actually rehearsing that, of how it feels, how it fits in with the music, how much they need to slow down, so that then when they do come to play a ritardando on their instruments, they're a lot better equipped to knowing how to do that, basically because they understand the language, which means they can then use the language. So that's one of the other things with the movement pieces. Also, it's also about rehearsing certain movements away from the instrument that can then help when you play the instrument as well. So in the case of a violinist, we do quite a lot of like circular movements with the scarves, and that is actually doing the bow circle. So, and it's leaving your like shoulder relaxed and making the big action rather than going backwards, which they tend to do a lot when you're playing violin. They tend to do circles with the arm going backwards, but this is teaching them that action. Also about loose wrists, so that they can feel that articulation there, which also is very useful for string crossing and so on. Like staccato, the dots, lots of those movements that they're doing with the scarves, but that can actually then be applied to the instrument. Also, with a movement piece of music, it gives you so many opportunities to talk about particular features. So, like instrumentation, for example. So, when you're doing, for example, an action, and you can then ask the children, oh, when we were doing this action, what was the instrument I was playing? And so you can pinpoint that moment in music. And it just gives you an opportunity to introduce them to all the different instruments and what they sound like, so that they're then able to recognize them. So there's that. Also, it gives you a chance to talk about terminology, introduce them to the terms, that by using them over and over again in so many lessons, it just becomes ingrained in them, all these terms, and they are just second nature, just becomes part of their language as well. So we're now going to do our boy piece of music, and this is Hungarian Dance Number 5 by Brahms. So we'll go from the start and just copy me. Then it's up and Then march it. Go march. Change direction. Go. Then piano. Then accents. And again, back to big march. Ready, ready, ready. Then piano. Back to piano. Then accents. March. Then, oh, this bit was the rolling, wasn't it? So this you roll on the floor. Roll. Then push, 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 push. Then everyone push together. Push, 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 push.
Kiss, I
There
kiss
again.
you.
Push, push, push,
I
push.
kiss you not.
And again, push.
I kissed her
Back
like
to. Walk. So in that rhythm with our walk. Back to rolling and roll. Ready for an accent? Back to marching. Change direction the other way. Then piano. Tiptoes. And slow as and tips. Accent. Back to marching. Change direction the other way. Then keep up. Then accent. Good. The ending is accent, accent, accent. So we're going to do 3 strong notes. So one knee, the other knee, and then head. Should we just? Who's at the door? 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 In, out, accent, accent, right. Who's at the door? Who's at the door? Now we're whispering, pianissimo. Dogs at the door, who's at the door? Nice circle, getting louder, which is crescendo. Getting louder, bigger, bigger, bigger. Bigger circle, bit off the lungs. Go shake down. Fortissimo, nice and loud. Then accent, accent. Now, here, who's this now? I think this might be the princess. Or someone friendly and gently. Definitely not someone scary, I think. Keep it really legato, so it'll be really smooth movements. Now it's standing a bit scary this time. Then accent, 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 accent. Back to off the beat accent, accent. Who's at the door? Who's at the door? Who's at the door? Ready for throw? Who's at the door? Up to there.